What's going on, everyone? Welcome to the video, and today we'll be talking about GitHub hosting. We'll first look at some pros and cons relating to GitHub hosting, and then we'll look at some use cases relating to GitHub hosting. So when exactly would be the best time to use GitHub hosting. And then after that, we'll jump straight into a live demo. So firstly, let's look at the pros of GitHub hosting. So first of all, and most importantly, it's free. So yeah, ghosting can be really expensive, and this is a really good benefit. And it's really easy to set up. Another benefit is that it has built-in version control, so you can make changes on your website, and it would automatically, with version control, push the latest changes, and that would be displayed. And then it also has a automatic HTTPS, so you wouldn't have to worry about not having HTTPS. And then it has integration with GitHub, so you can integrate with GitHub really easily. Moving on to our cons of GitHub hosting. So what is so bad about GitHub hosting is that it's limited to static sites. So only HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. So there won't be any database calls or any backend calls possible. And then limited customization. And then also storage and bandwidth limits. So you only get 1 gigabyte storage limit and 100 gigabytes bandwidth limit per month, which can be too small if you're expecting a lot of traffic on your website. And then it actually just covers basic web hosting. And then lastly, setting up a custom domain is really complex. Alright, and then lastly, before we jump into the live demo, let's look at some use cases for GitHub Pages. And GitHub Pages is what we'll be using to do the GitHub hosting with. So GitHub hosting is especially useful for personal portfolios, project documentation, simple blogs, prototyping and demos, and then landing pages for open source projects. So I will be hosting one of my personal portfolios, and it's just really easy because it's a static website. It doesn't need any database calls. Okay, so here in VS Code, I quickly want to show you the website that we will be hosting. So as previously mentioned, it is a CSV website that I've created for myself. So let's just open it up quickly. I'm going to say open with live server. And here you can see just a quick rundown of what it is. It's just a basic resume. It has some photos of me, and then what it's built with, so HTML5, Bootstrap, and CSS. Then it has a bit about myself, my achievements, and a bit about my YouTube channel, and then as well as some of my videos, and then ways to connect. So going back to VS Code, you can see here that it's just HTML and CSS. So you can add JavaScript code and it would still work fine. But as previously mentioned before, you can't add any backend code. So no calls to any DBs or any stuff like that. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to go to GitHub. We're going to create a new repository. Then we are going to just give the owner a name, and then we're going to say something like Yanru CSV. That's the repository name. And then in the description, we can just say website for Yanru CSV. Then we want to make it public, and then without a README, and then create repository. So once the repository has been created, there are some quick setup instructions that you can follow. So you can either create a new repository on the command line or push an existing repository from the command line. So we are going to choose this first option. So what this does is it creates a README, then it initializes Git as a repository, then it adds the README, and then it creates the commit. So it commits the add of the README, and then it creates a main branch, and then it adds that it adds the branch or the repository to the remote using the link of the repository, and then it pushes the changes to the origin. So we're going to quickly copy this entire block of code by using this button. Then we can go back to VS Code, open up the terminal, and then we can just do shift insert, and it will copy all of the commands. Then press enter for the last command. Right, then we need to still add some of the actual code, because that only added the readme. So we can do git add and then just a dot. Right, and then we can do git commit, just give it a commit message. So second commit, and then we can just use the same command, push origin upstream main. All right, so now that the files have been successfully committed, we can go back to GitHub, then just refresh this GitHub page. And here is all of our code. So to do the hosting part, it's pretty simple. After you've pushed all of your changes to your repository, just go to settings. Then here in the left-hand side, under the code and automation part, click on pages. Then deploy from branch should be selected. Then under branch, select the branch that you want, so main. And then root, so it should deploy everything in the root of the main branch. And then just hit save. Then there are other options like enforcing HTTPS and adding a custom domain, but that's basically it. Alright, so here I've opened up my website. So basically all it is HTTPS and then your GitHub name and then .github.io and then / and then your repository name. And then here you can see my website is successfully hosted. Thank you so much for watching, everyone. I have shown you how to host your static websites using GitHub Pages. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video.